Hello again. Here's another bizarre childhood story with my brother. This is a water motif, so I'm going to put a body of water that's very familiar, if it's not burned down already. Um, this one is called The Exploding Pool. And it, I had mentioned to you how all of the demon stories and the birth of Sherlock Holmes's younger brother, where I had to outsmart things with my brother to even have a chance of surviving into adulthood. Well, this one, The Exploding Pool, was another contest of wills and stamina. And this was again a draw. This was really a draw, but it ended in an extraordinary fashion. So I figured it's worth telling you about. It seems I had a swimming pool in the backyard of my parents' house growing up. It was a little 4 foot circular pool above ground. And it was a favorite place for my older brother, who I'll call Eddie, uh, to practice all manner of deviltry on me. And what he did was, again, we had to be, if I was 9, he was 11. I was always 2 years behind him. And we're in the pool. And what happened on one unchaperoned day, my mother was in the house and Eddie was, my father was at work, and it was just me and Eddie in the pool. And so my torment would always begin then. He liked to pretend he was drowning me sometimes and holding me under the water. And and then sometimes he would play this game where he had a nickname for me, Poojums. And he'd say, "Come to me, Poojums. I won't hurt you. Come on, Poojums." And then I'd get beguiled by him and hypnotized like a, a mongoose with a snake. I'd sit there and watch him. And then he'd come up and he'd get a hold of me and he'd hold my head under the water so that I couldn't get out. And he'd hold it for an inordinate amount of time. So I learned a survival lesson to feign that I was unconscious faster. I would go under the water and go, and just go limp. So this went on. This was a series of episodes rolled around water. And the next idea we came up with was to make a blind man's bluff game. You know, blind man's bluff, where you try to find a person. Well, we're in this circular tank of about 10,000 gallons of water, and it's just me and him. And so he says, "I'll play, blind man's bluff. I'll stuff my snorkel with a t-shirt so I can't see you. And you hide around the pool trying to make no noise, and I'll try to get you." All right, that's how tamely it started. But what happened was I was leaning to get away from him. I came up with a bright idea. I sat my rump at the top of the 4 foot top of the pool and hung my body back out as far as I could, and only my legs were in the water. So I was making no noise, no sound. And my dear old bro, he was cheating, of course, and unbeknownst to me, I thought I had outsmarted him because I'm hanging almost out of the pool, way up on the ledge that he can't get me. So he goes around the pool and he goes, "Are you here? Are you here? Are you here?" When he said, "Are you here?" he had poked an opening in his swim mask camouflage, that with his blind man bluff. The t-shirt was moved so he could see, and he saw exactly where I was. And when he said, "Are you here?" he pushed as hard as he could. I fell out backwards out of the pool, 4 feet down and landed on my back. And to this day, 60 years later, I still have the parting gift of a lousy lower back with cringing pain every now and then if I hit it wrong, all due to that magical moment. Uh, but that was not the real part of the story that I want you to hear. I mean, that was just another misery that I endured. This was we used to go around in circles. Like I guess we were simulating a pole shift in the world. That if the oceans and the poles flipped, the oceans would go the other way. So we'd run around in the pool to get a 10,000-gallon vortex going. Wasn't good for the structural integrity of the pool, as I'll point out soon enough. But what happened was, we would do that, and then we'd start just rollicking with each other, pushing at each other. But the pool must have been weakened because it was put together with the standard construction of the 60s. The pools were made out of one band of metal that encompassed the whole thing with reinforcing rods that stuck into each other to make an exoskeleton. Well, after all this roughhousing and rollicking, he he and I just were at the edge, and we heard this tremendous sound, this rolling thunder, and it was amazing. The pool exploded, which was 10,000 gallons of water, and it flushed my brother and myself out onto the lawn like unswallowed turds in a toilet. We went flying out on the lawn, and now we're skiing down in an avalanche of 10,000 gallons of water, going about 75 feet toward the side street, and where we finally ended up like this. And it was the most extraordinary ride. You've never lived until you've been in an exploding 10,000-gallon pool right at the edge when it gives way. And so that's why life must be a dream, because this stuff doesn't, you couldn't even imagine being in that situation. And so we're laying there, the pool is destroyed, 10,000 gallons of water are flooding away. And then my father gets home from work, and my mother tells him exactly what we did. And so we were again thoroughly punished. We got the lecture that you think we're made of money? Do you think this kind of stuff, you have fun, but I have to work hours and hours to put the food on the table and buy you the stupid pool, and you break it? So we got our punishment there. I can't. There's been so many punishments for being bad kids in the neighborhood that I can't tell you what happened to us that day, except I'll never forget the pool. Let us pause for station identification and another tale. Thank you.